I'm Wally Wingert, creator of Donny Druthers Christoween Capers, a 13-story series about a boy who did a mashup of Halloween and Christmas and the fantastical adventures that ensued. It's the 4th week of the 13 weeks of Christoween, and Chapter 4 is a hairy tale about one of Santa's reindeer who has a strange flaw in his DNA. Santa needs to consult with Donnie about ways to counteract this physiological phenomenon. Please enjoy Donny Druthers Christoween Capers Story 4, What to Do About Wolfie.
And now here's a story, a legend of old, about a strange occurrence, a tale needing told. I urge you to hear me, implore you to believe, about the full moon on a cold Christmas Eve. Some say that it's gossip or just idle chatter, or mad machinations or ridiculous blather. But little Donny Druthers, whom I don't mean to flatter, is quite the reliable source on these matters. He once told a yarn that was quite tough to hear about one of Santa's beloved reindeer. It seems that each time that the full moon gives rise, Blitzen takes on a most curious guise. As one of the 8 whom Santa trusts deeply, Blitzen's quite unassuming, as meek as a sheeply, an outstanding member of the reindeer community, but he has a condition to which there's no immunity. The bright lunar surface makes him feel jingly-tingly. Then the changes begin. It's the most strangest thingly. He changes to completion on a bright midnight clear. Where once stood shy Blitzen, now stands a weirdeer. He doesn't get fierce or evil or violent, but he sure talks a lot. Man, the boy can't stay silent. He gabs about gaming, he'll croon a new tune, and all 'neath the light of a silvery full moon. He went from mild-mannered into very wild-mannered. Genteel and polite were no longer the standard. Becoming Wolfie the weirdeer not only changed his body, but his attitude too, becoming bawdy and naughty. Into his hair some pomade he's rubbing. He dresses to the nines to get ready for clubbing. He rehearses his lines to use on the ladies. And the clothes that he wears, are they 70s or 80s? His silk shirt's unbuttoned to show off his chest. He'll send all the ladies into cardiac arrest. With one eyebrow cocked like suave Desi Arnaz, and his hair was perfect, just like the song says. Now no longer Blitzen, but the weirdeer he became. He smiles, pointed teeth, and says, "Wolfie's my name." Not walking on 4 legs, but now walking erect. Meek and mild, Blitzen's gone. Wolfie's bold and direct. "What's your sign? Leo's mine. Have you seen my new necklace?" Wolfie's pesky, infernal, annoying, and feckless. Obnoxious and fraught with an arrogant disposition. Exasperating his friends seems to be Wolfie's mission. Oh, he can't help himself, for he certainly means well. It's the moon that's to blame for this rotten, mean spell. Blitzen gives way to Wolfie for 24 hours. It's then his friends' feelings about him go sour. He yammers and yaks, tells tales and cracks jokes. The weirdeer DNA was passed down from his folks, so it's not Blitzen's fault that he has this condition. When it's over, he's contrite with regrets and contrition. Santa's second thoughts about the deer he's employing have become quite an issue. This reindeer's annoying. Wolfie never stops blabbing, jibber-jabbering, or singing, and it bugs the other reindeer as they soar the sky winging. So the rest of the herd went to Santa complaining. "Every time Blitzen's Wolfie, our teamwork is straining." "But I can't fly with 7, I need a full 8. Santa pled his position, "Please try not to hate." It was then Dasher had an idea or two about someone who'd help them, and he knew just who. Their strange little friend, he'd know what to do. Of course, it's Donny Druthers, but that you already knew. Donnie heard a clatter way up high on his roof. It sounded like reindeer, yes, each tiny hoof. Like a flash up the ladder, dear Donnie did go. And there stood old Santa, but no ho-ho-ho. It was odd, Donnie thought, for a Santa Claus visit. It wasn't even winter. There's a reason. What is it? Several months off, the 25th of December, the reindeer looked good, except for one member. Donnie raised his hand for Santa to high-five it, but instead Santa asked for a quick word in private. Then Donnie noticed Weirdeer and thought he looked odd. Santa departed his strange reindeer squad. Once the two got themselves safe in seclusion, Santa began their supernatural collusion. Donnie loves Santa. It's always fun to be meeting him. But Donnie could tell that something was eating him. Santa said, "Donnie, I've a problem with Blitzen. He just won't stop talking and I'm at my wit's end." The full moon's the cause of all this strange trouble. Sometimes irksome as Blitzen, but as Weirdeer it's double. Santa said Weirdeer's the cause of his headaches, but he's not to blame, it's just simple genetics. He explained the conditions passed down from his folks. At first Donnie thought, oh, this must be a hoax. He's chatting incessantly, his jokes are all horrible, and the worst thing of all, he thinks he's adorable. He calls himself Wolfie and has a mountainous ego, always vying for attention wherever that we go. When I leave kids their presents, I make no sounds, none. But he makes it so difficult to get the job done. As you well know, I always like to stay stealthy, but he's stressing me out. It just isn't healthy. As it turned out, Donnie just finished reading some ancient old writings all about reindeer breeding. Weirdeerism was covered in chapter 13. Santa said, come and meet him. You'll see what I mean. Donnie'd met Blitzen on several occasions, even stayed with his family one summer vacation. But the creature before him was foreign and new. It wasn't standing on 4 legs, but standing on 2. Wolfie said, how you doing, kid? Me, I'm just fine. Is that your hairstyle or a black porcupine? Are those glasses or goggles for flying a plane? Man, those babies are huge. I'm talking insane. Wolfie cut loose with laughter, enjoying his own jokes. Donnie didn't mind at all his innocent pokes. Quite used to insults and personal jabs, he automatically tunes out useless blather and blabs. But he started to realize why Santa was bugged. Donnie's brilliant brain churned and it chugged. He pulled Santa aside, feeling all his frustration. But then an idea, oh sweet inspiration. Deep inside his keen mind, a cool concept occurred, how to extricate Wolfie from the rest of the herd. Santa, I've an idea that I hope you won't write off. When the moon's at full phase, just give him the night off. I hear Vixen just welcomed a fantastic fawn, a strapping young buck. She's a proud, doting mom. Start training him now for your sleigh he can pull, and sub in for Blitzen the next time the moon's full. Wolfie does what he must, he'll be out of your hair. The others will thank you, to me that sounds fair. Santa came around to young Donnie's thinking. He was making good sense. Santa's heart had stopped sinking. Just let him live out his strange Wolfie persona. Let him joke, let him sing. I know that he'd wanna. Gee, maybe he'd make a good stand-up comedian. His wacky persona does break up the tedium. Santa thought for a bit, then his face lit up bright. Donnie, my boy, you just may be right. I'll accept Blitzen, Wolfie, or whomever he is, and let him be him. It's really none of my biz. Donnie said, Wolfie'd love all your kind understanding, a perfect solution for what this issue's demanding. Let Wolfie be Wolfie, Santa, let him go crazy. After all, it only happens once every 30 daisy. And when Blitzen returns to his old self again, just welcome him back as his boss and his friend. Show him compassion, yes, all you can muster. It does no one good when you blow up and bluster. Santa thanked Donnie, leaned his finger on his nose, and as if by magic old Santa Claus rose. He was magically seated, safe, secure in his sleigh. Donnie smiled satisfied as the team flew away. Santa wrote Donnie to say his plan worked. When Blitzen is Wolfie, Santa's no longer irked. You see, Wolfie gets jobs, working clubs, and lost wages. That's the end of the story. We're closing the pages. Oh, just one more thing as long as we're talking. Remember on the rooftop when Donnie was gawking? He raced to his room, started work without balking, and created a new Wolfie Christoween stocking. He held it up proudly, snapped a selfie, and then composed a clever text, hit the button to send. He wrote, Harry Christmas, sent it straight off to Santa, who was relaxing and resting on vacation in Atlanta. Santa wrote back in response to the text that thanks to Donny Druthers, he was no longer vexed. And he wrote, by the way, I think it's worthy of mention that Wolfie's become a new comedy legend. You see, Lost Wages loves Wolfie's comedy stylings. He leaves audiences howling, cheering wildly, and smiling. They love that he's hairy, they clamor for his claws, and Wolfie enjoys all the love and applause. Yes, he's knocking 'em dead, doing 4 shows a night. All the rage, they're on stage, working in the spotlight. The MC says, folks, let's have a big cheer here for tonight's star attraction, our own Wolfie the Weirdeer. But the next night he changes to Blitzen again, then returns to his job with Santa and friends. But if the moon's full Christmas Eve of next year, you'll notice Santa's sleigh has a trainee reindeer.